It has now been 3 years since Ricardo Lopez first became fascinated with the singer Bjork.
Bjork has been an incredible part of my mind since '93, since I first saw her. I've started with a crush, and ended up with an obsession, which I'm not embarrassed to admit, no, it's an obsession.
He has never gone to one of her concerts or tried to approach her, but he is nonetheless a stalker, all from his squalid room, apartment A. Gradually, Lopez seems troubled by news accounts and suggestions in Bjork's music that she may not be quite the untouched creature he's created in his mind.
Big Time Sensuality, the song, when I first heard that, I was like, oh, So I felt threatened by that, her having sex and...
And then he reads something else, something that seems to light a terrible fuse. He reads that Bjork has a lover.
Spin magazine, I believe it was last month. A little bitty article there, picture Bjork. Picture of a man by the name of Goldie. A black man. Of course. Once you try black, you ain't going back.
He reacts in anger. For him, anger compounded by bigotry.
She's f***ing a nigger. Can you believe that? That's unacceptable.
He says, I just had a deliciously sadistic plan, and he talks about how he would like to inflict his pain onto her, that she has a new boyfriend, she is no stranger to male lust.
Started hitting the truck and saying, you have no idea what I'm capable of. You think you know me, but you don't know me.
As Lopez's feelings grow angrier and more explosive, you can see there amid the clutter of his apartment, books on forensics, serial killers, crime.
The reason why I'm going to do this is because I want to do it. I want to do it. It's a joy for me to think. Just the fact of thinking about doing it is a joy, it's a rush.
I think that this should be studied by professionals. I think particularly a forensic psychologist or forensic psychiatrist could look at this and perhaps give us an understanding of the dynamics of star stalking.
Dr. Louis Schlesinger, forensic psychologist at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, pores over the documents, analyzing the combustible mix of fantasy and adolescent self-hatred.
Would you have some kind of diagnosis? What is wrong with this man?
He was secretly struggling for years with enormous feelings of inadequacy and sexual inadequacy.
A feeling so extreme that at one point Lopez turned the camera on his body to analyze what he calls a physical sexual inadequacy, one that could never satisfy Bjork.
I've never dreamed of her. Okay, the only thing I've ever fantasized about, if anything, was just bringing her pleasure to satisfy her need.
Schlesinger said stalking is considered an obsessional disorder stemming from an inability to form deep attachments to people in real life. He says he has seen them as young as 13 and as old as in their 60s. But one thing they have in common, they lose their grip on the real world. Lopez even makes a note that the tapes someday will be eyed by the FBI profiling unit, though Cornwell thinks he also has another viewer in mind.
Is he talking to us on the tape? Who's he talking to? It's a very intimate tone of voice.
He's talking to her. Let's if we sort of walk down the path of his fantasies for a moment. Let's say, to follow his fantasies, he met her backstage, and she was really nice to him. Follow his fantasies even a little more, we get into the absurd. Let's say that she wrote to him now and then. They developed some sort of relationship, not a romantic one. How would that have changed things for him?
I don't think it would have, because what it would have done is it would have intensified his fantasies
So it
about
made it
her.
worse.
It would have made it worse. And once she disappointed him, once she behaved in a way that he felt was sexually inappropriate, she would have disappointed him.
And that had to have happened at some point.
But it's one thing to slip from fan to fanatic. What forces that last step into murder? It's part of Lopez's strange self-awareness that he tries to compare himself to famous stalkers in American life.